there is a huge okay, so one of the most abused licenses of all time, in my opinion, is the Alien franchise.
It's so obscure too, because Alien is such a great franchise, but it's been backshelved so many times.
The only good movies were like the first and the second one. I like the first one more than the second.
Dude, if you want to know about a masterclass in elusive horror movies, the original Alien should be your blueprint. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a diehard favorite of mine. It's like it's like one of those movies you watch once and you just don't forget about it.
Dude, that's the thing, is like, for something that came out, I think it was 1979, chat. If I didn't, sorry, please correct me.
I think it is.
But the type of things that were going on in that, I mean, you had Star Wars that was coming out roughly the same time,
and then they decided to do this sci-fi horror out of the blue.
Dude, and it's because Ridley Scott, no matter what he's done before or after, he's a really talented director. And
they also had The Thing.
And The Thing is another. That's John Carpenter. John Carpenter. If you want to talk about a
freaks me out, dude.
If you want to talk about a masterclass of practical effects and body horror, John Carpenter's 1982 The Thing is your go-to, at least for me. Yeah. But like, to go back to the Alien thing, it's such a crazy concept, because this started out as a horror movie, went into an action franchise, then went off into some weird philosophical crap, and then became a video game franchise.
From the third movie onward was just like, okay, this is not canon to me.
Yeah,
it's not. And then you also have the games, right? Gearbox made their Colonial Marines title. That was a huge flop. Huge flop. I even thought I read somewhere, and this was like years ago, so I'm not sure if I'm correct on this. So correct me in the comments. But I think I heard somewhere that they took the money from 20th Century Fox to make the Alien game, and they threw it into Borderlands 2. Which wouldn't shock me, because, like, I think I'd rather take a Borderlands. But like,
Borderlands is fire, man.
It is fire. But no, and it took Creative Assembly, a strategy game company that does like over top kind of games, and that was like, I think that was their first-person game ever. And they nailed it.
Really? Wait, is this for, are we talking Alien Isolation? Dude, Alien Isolation is still, I haven't finished the game yet, because it still got me on my heels every time I play it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love that game. I love that game. There are some things that, like, the face animations are, like, not that great. But it's the gameplay.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Gameplay. They got the gameplay right. And it's like, I love the fact that it's not a shoot-'em-up game.
Yeah,
I love the fact that it respected the first film, and how the first film depicted this creature that you can't stop.
That's the thing that I and here's a little tidbit for horror movies, and horror franchises in general. Franchises that do it really, really well, both video game and movie. Alien Isolation, Outlast does it really well. If you want to go into movies, Hereditary by Ari Aster. It's the thing that makes a truly scary horror movie is a lack of explanation and an absence of hope. Absence of hope overall will get you anywhere you need to go. But if you want to make it even better, lack of explanation, like if you show somebody being killed off screen, but
what you don't see that scares you more.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really playing on that human psyche. That's going to get you. It's like you're out in the dark being surrounded by saber-toothed tigers, and you don't know where they're at. That scares me more than seeing the saber-toothed tiger, because if I see the saber-tooth, I know where he is.
Well, and even then, like, to play on this made-up scenario, if you're being chased by saber-toothed tigers in the wild, the one thing that would get me is if they eventually captured you,
you're done.
And you never get to see how they left you. Like, you never get to see how they ripped you apart or anything. All you can hear is just like squelching, bone crunching, and blood curdling screaming.
That's it.
Like, either by shadows or by your view of the person is obstructed by a giant gang of these saber-toothed tigers just going at it viciously.
And that's what's scary. That's like human psyche. That's what freaks us out the most.
Yes, and I think, what's crazy, to bring it back around, the first episode of the Halo series gave me a little bit of hope before it just crashed into the ground when the elites, for whatever reason or another, invaded Madrigal and invaded like the little outpost, and then they shot that giant group of kids. I was like,
oh,
because I thought it was going to be like, yeah, I'm going to shoot you, and then Master Chief comes out of nowhere. No, they gunned those kids down.
They sent it.
I was like,
they Anakin Skywalkered the Padawans. in that scene for sure.
Exactly. And that for me to give an example of like lack of explanation, I love that.
Abuse of licenses that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of respect, like The Witcher. Henry Cavill.
Oh my God.
Seeing the writing on the wall. I think that's why he quit The Witcher, is because they're not staying true to the franchise.
They're not adhering to the source material. And for those of you that don't know, and maybe any of you studio executives that are out there that watch this per se, Henry Cavill is a real fan. Henry Cavill has read the lore and the books and played all the video games. And is a nerd. That's why he's doing Warhammer.
He is. Well, the thing is about Henry Cavill is that you're not going to have a lot of guys like that.
No, not really.
That kind of that are at that level to direct franchises. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like one in a trillion.
It's kind of like he's like another version of Jordan Peele, but like take out the Jordan Peele-esque of it and put in just nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like anything that has to deal with. And the thing is you could do so many things with the Witcher series.
That's why I can't wait for this new Warhammer.
Yes, dude.
I'm actually more excited for what Henry Cavill's going to do now that he's in full creative control.
Yes.
We need more nerds in full creative control. The hard part is finding nerds with experience.
Yes.
Because, it's hard to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah, they sound pretty good.
Anyway, all of Hollywood has this issue. We have corporate heads running a lot of these franchises, and not people that are real
fans,
or like real fans, or like people that are really passionate about the projects. It's like they're kind of just in it for the money.
And that's my problem, is because it's become a cash grab culture where it's
Godzilla Minus One was like a real big example of like what I think the budget was like 15 million, 20 million.
I heard that movie was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
I love that movie to death, dude. Like,